Hello, this is going to be a quick video on comparing decimals. This is a common problem that we'll come across in 4th grade. We're typically given a few decimals, and we have to compare them and see which one is larger, equal, or smaller. So what I always do whenever I have decimals is I create a place value chart. This helps me organize my decimals, and it really helps me see which one is larger. So there's my decimal place value chart. So normally we'd have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. In this case, we're doing decimals, so we're going smaller and smaller as we go this way. So we go smaller as we go this way, larger as we go this way. So I want you to think about that, because this would be ones, then tens, then hundreds, and thousands, and so on. So obviously hundreds are a lot bigger than these tiny little hundredths. These are very tiny little pieces. 100th would be this size right here. I would rather have $100 than this tiny little amount right here. So I'm going to use my place value chart to help me figure out which one is larger and smaller. I'm going to put the first decimal here. I've got 78, and then I've got 8 to compare this one. So off the bat, it looks like 78 is larger, but I want you to remember that the more we go this way, the smaller the number is going, or the amount is going to be. Okay, so we would read this as 78 hundredths. And so that would look like this, 78 hundredths. If I was to draw this out on my hundredths chart, this is just 100 tiny boxes. I would shade in 78 of those boxes. So I'd go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. Okay, I've got 78. And of course you would color it in nicer than that. And then we've got 8 tenths. Remember, I like to use my fingers when I read the place value. 78 hundredths, 8 tenths. So that would look like this as a fraction. And so I would use my tens, and this is just 10 pieces, and I would shade in 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is very visually important, because here, if I use these charts, I see, wow, okay, even though this one's not colored in that well, I see this one's got these 2 columns that are just empty, and it's got 2 more little boxes that are empty too. Over here, I've got just 2 columns that are empty. This one has more white space than this one. So just looking at this, I can already tell that this is larger. My tenths is larger than these hundredths that I had. So 8 tenths is actually larger than 78 hundredths, because look how close I am to having a whole. I would just need 2 more tenths in order to make a whole. If I had 78, how many more would I need? Well, let's find out. I would need, and this is where knowing subtraction comes in handy. So, I can't take 8 away from 0. I can't regroup from here. I've got to go to my hundredths place. That's going to become 0. There's going to be nothing left, because I'm going to give all my hundreds to my tens. So I know that 10 tens makes 100. So I've got 10 tens now. But I still can't subtract from here, so I've got to go back to my tens. I'm going to take 1 10 away from that place value. And so since I took a 10 away, it's going to come over here. And I've got 10 minus 8, 9, 10. 9 minus 7, I go 7, 8, 9, and that's 22. wow, I need 22 more hundredths to get 100 100ths, which would make one whole. So which one's closer? Would it be better just to have 2 more tenths to go or 22 hundredths to go? To me, it sounds like this one, wow, is way closer than having 22 hundredths. So we know that this 0.8 or this 8 tenths is which is what you would say correctly if you're using math vocabulary. 8 tenths is greater than 78 hundredths. Another way you can think of it is, if we want to fill in this place value, what would go here? We normally don't see money written like this. We normally see something right here at least. So we know we could use 0 as a place marker, and that would become 80 hundredths. Okay, so 8 tenths is the same thing as 80 hundredths. It's equivalent. And here, we would just need 20 more to get one whole. Just 20 more hundredths. Whereas over here, we needed 22 more hundredths. So already, even if I convert this to hundredths, the 8 tenths is still closer to having a whole and being larger than the 78 hundredths. Don't let that place value trick you, okay? The hundredths is smaller. As we go this way, it gets smaller. It does not get larger. Keep in mind this hundredths chart. Use this as a resource. You can always print out 100 little boxes. You can ask me for copies and use it. Whatever helps you. All right, thank you very much. If you have any questions, let me know.